Subnautica is what happens when you crash land on an alien ocean planet and suddenly realize you're no longer at the top of the food chain. Dive into an underwater wonderland filled with glowing creatures, terrifying leviathans, and mysterious alien structures, all while desperately trying to remember where you parked your submarine. It's a game where you'll go from peacefully collecting peepers for dinner to panicking as a giant sea monster turns your seamoth into a snack. Build your base, craft cool gadgets, and try not to freak out every time something brushes your leg in the dark. Subnautica is equal parts stunningly beautiful and absolutely terrifying. So hold your breath, because things are about to get deep. Frostpunk is like SimCity, but if everyone was freezing to death and mad at you for it. Welcome to a world where the sun said goodbye, and now it's up to you to keep a handful of desperate survivors from turning into popsicles. Manage your city around a massive generator, ration out food, and decide how many limbs you're willing to sacrifice for progress. Will you enforce child labor to keep those coal mines running, or build a cemetery for morale? Because who doesn't love a well-organized funeral during the apocalypse? Every choice is a cold, hard balancing act between keeping your people alive and watching them riot because you made them eat sawdust soup. Good luck, Mayor Frosty. You'll need it. Escape from Tarkov is the game where trust no one isn't just advice. It's the law. You'll dive into a brutal, hyper-realistic war zone where everything wants to kill you. Other players, ruthless AI, and even your own thirst. Gear up with whatever loot you can scavenge, but don't get too attached, because one wrong turn and it's back to square one with empty pockets. It's a high-stakes treasure hunt, where you either escape with your hard-earned loot or get sniped by a guy hiding in a bush who's been camping there for 20 minutes. Valheim is the ultimate Viking survival game, where you'll go from being a humble, axe-wielding Norseman to a god-slaying legend, all while trying to remember where you left your longship. Set in a beautifully stylized world, filled with forests, mountains, and overly aggressive boars, you'll gather resources, build impressive bases, and engage in epic battles with mythical creatures that seem to have skipped leg day. Want to build a cozy cabin or a sprawling fortress? Go for it. Just be prepared for the occasional troll to show up and turn your hard work into firewood. DayZ is like the ultimate survival test, where the real monsters aren't the zombies. They're the other players who seem to have taken a masterclass in betrayal and backstabbing. You'll wander a vast post-apocalyptic landscape, trying to find food, weapons, and maybe a reason to live while dodging infected wildlife and those friendly survivors who suddenly decide that your backpack looks better on them. Forget about charming conversation. In DayZ, it's all about who can get the drop on whom first. Will you spend hours crafting a snazzy campfire only to be shot in the back while cooking beans? Satisfactory is like playing with Lego blocks, if those blocks were giant factories, conveyor belts, and endless possibilities for creating the most over-engineered production line you can dream up. You crash land on an alien planet, and your first thought is, let's turn this whole place into a giant factory. Gather resources, build machines, and watch as your once pristine planet slowly transforms into a sprawling industrial labyrinth. Ylands is the ultimate sandbox adventure where your imagination is your only limit. And maybe those pesky sharks that think you'd make a great snack. Picture this. You wash up on a colorful, procedurally generated island. Now it's time to get your hands dirty, crafting tools, building boats, and maybe even a cozy little shack. But why stop there? Create entire worlds, mini-games, or just go wild with friends, exploring mysterious islands and taming wild creatures that don't always agree with your friendly approach. One moment you're a master builder, the next you're fighting off a bear because you thought a hug would work. Hurtworld is like Mother Nature's way of saying, welcome to the wilderness, enjoy your suffering. It's a hardcore multiplayer survival game where everything from the freezing nights to the hungry creatures wants to turn you into a tasty snack. You'll gather resources, craft gear, build your dream base, or more realistically, a ramshackle hut, and try to survive against not just the elements, but other players who think your stuff looks better in their inventory. Icarus is like a survival game where Mother Nature turned the difficulty up to good luck, buddy. You're dropped onto an alien planet for a series of high-stakes, time-limited missions, and the planet is not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. Expect vicious wildlife, unpredictable weather, and enough ways to die that you'll question why you signed up in the first place. Gather resources, build shelter, craft gear, and try not to get struck by lightning or mauled by a bear while chopping down trees. Oh, and don't forget the most important part. Make it back to the dropship before the timer runs out, or get left behind like yesterday's space junk. Conan Exiles is like being dropped into the world's most brutal reality show, where survival isn't just about avoiding hunger and thirst, but also avoiding getting clobbered by a giant snake or an angry, shirtless barbarian. You're thrown into a savage open world where you'll gather resources, build your fortress, and craft everything from swords to shrines. Because in this world, gods are real, and they like to smash stuff. Whether you're taming wild animals, enslaving thralls to do your dirty work, or fighting off other players who think your castle would look better in ruins, life here is a mix of epic battles, survival challenges, and the occasional oops, I accidentally summoned a giant deity. Conan Exiles is all about building, bashing, and trying to stay alive long enough to wear that shiny new armor. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on all things gaming, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.